Welcome, Beasts, to our special rapid fire winter solstice 12/21/2020 Beast TV session. We have the planets have aligned, literally and metaphorically. We have Jordan Ross, founder of the Founders Company, former Amazon area manager turned executive coach from Santa Monica, California. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Ryan, dude, thank you for having me and happy to connect on this platform, bro.
Yeah, you bet. It's really, really great to have you. Would love for our audience to hear how you got into coaching, your experience at Amazon. You're a former Ohio State Buckeye. Tell us how Jordan Ross came to this new era of coaching.
Yeah, so just from the high level, when I was an undergrad at Ohio State, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't have the skills. And I knew it. I heard a podcast from Lewis Howes, who runs the School of Greatness. It's been a top 100 podcast for years. I don't know if it still is today. And one thing he told on one of his podcast episodes was, if you want to be an entrepreneur, but you don't know what to do, go build skills. I saw a presentation from Amazon within a month of that. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go be a manager at Amazon. I'm going to go learn how to be a leader and run an operation. So you flash forward to 2016. I launched, and at that time within Amazon's history, launched the highest volume fulfillment center in the world as a 21-year-old manager. And it sounds impressive. I was failing miserably because no one in college teaches you how to do that. No one teaches you how do you run an operation? How do you prioritize 100 things when you have 100 employees, right? So I had 100 employees. My operation after 6 months was doing over 500,000 in a 12-hour shift, a 10-hour shift. And I was on the verge of getting fired because no one taught me this shit. And it was at that point I started to go down the road of, I was consuming books and podcasts, but then I started investing my money back into myself. And through that journey, I learned how to prioritize my time. And eventually I learned how to ask questions. And when I started asking questions, I found out that people can start to change without you having to tell them to change. And that's when everything turned around with me at Amazon. Flash forward another year, I was in IPEC, which is Institute of Professional Accent Coaching. I went through my year-long coach training there. In 2018, I started life coaching. In 2019, I started realizing that I love working with entrepreneurs and I don't want to work with the corporate professionals, not out of any animosity. It just wasn't my tribe of people. And, you flash forward today, when I left Amazon, I invested over $35,000 into figuring out how coaching worked, where when I finally made that leap, I got my stock. I never had a month below a six-figure business. I did that for a little over a year, and I'm actually now at a place with my current company, the Founders Factory, where we are helping coaches grow six-figure and multiple six-figure businesses because the average coach doesn't know how to think like a business owner. They just know how to be great in session. And the average coach makes $33,000 a year, and 95% of coaches will never go full-time. So I moved from entrepreneurs to coaches as a first step in the Founders Factory. So that's my high level. Appreciate you asking. Hope that was sufficient enough from a response.
Absolutely. It was a great response. You saw a need where you were in a high stakes environment and had the humility to start to build yourself and invest in yourself. And then look what it germinated into. Just terrific. And you provide a tremendous service to people that really need it and the people that can change the world. So hats off to you for doing that. Thanks,
brother. And you use the word humility. I think it's interesting because at that time it was survival. I couldn't get fired from Amazon. Right. So yeah, 100%.
You bet. Robert Murray just joined us. Thanks for coming in, Robert. He said, good point, Jordan. All great things. And I think that the conversation can materialize into something that I'm intrigued by. So you help a very specific group of people basically amplify what they're doing. Now, are there systems that you put in place? Or is there leverage? Do you help them outsource? Can you explain some of that?
Yeah, so I have called an accelerator program where I take coaches, no matter really what stage they're at, and I help them think like business owners. So entrepreneurs, which most coaches are the typical entrepreneur, they work their ass off, they put in time, they post content. And this is even service professionals too, service entrepreneurs, right? Guys that are consultants or they're selling a service, they just do all the things. But business owners are extremely intentional. They have systems that are consistent and reliable, and they can predict if I plug in XYZ on the front end, I'm going to get XYZ dollars on the back end. And I teach coaches how to do that with targeting, setting up their program and their packaging, their pricing specifically. And then the most important thing is, how do you set up a system for lead generation and sales? So one of the trainings I recorded today was actually going into my data. I do it every Monday, so I recorded it while I was doing it and showing my community, okay, this was how many messages I had to my target audience last week. And this was how many calls I had booked. This is the conversion rate. And now let's go look at my calls. This is how many calls I've had over the last 3 months, and these are how many sales. So if this is my conversion rate percent, we'll call it, and between the months of October and November is 50%. Every other person I was working on a sales call with, I closed. So I just did the math for them. I'm like, if I just increase this number, then the math tells me I'll sign this many more clients and I'll make this much more money. And that's how you run a system of business. You plug it in front to end, and that's it.
Oh, agree, 100%. Most, sadly, most people, and it's not even just individual entrepreneurs, coaches, but businesses never get to that point because they get stuck in the minutia of survival, and then a bigger fish comes in and takes the business. So, yeah, tremendous respect for showing people how to leverage those systems and those tools to ultimately create freedom.
Oh yeah, it's leverage is the first thing that I think of when you say that. Most people don't know how to get it, so I teach people how to get leverage.
That's terrific. Peter Lynch just joined us, another fellow from Denver, Colorado. Actually, he's in Colorado Springs. He says, boom, stop working in your business and start working on your business. Well said.
Hell yeah, Peter. Definitely right.
Good stuff. So if you have, so some of the folks joining us are I recognize some of our names, and some of them are a part of our tribe. You've got some people that are transitioning from corporate, like you did, like I did, and otherwise. What, if you've got somebody that's just got say they've got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or they're jumping in full steam, what would you say the best thing for them to do would be? Where would you have them start? Because a lot of people just don't know where to start.
Hire someone that's done it. And that's what I did. And here's the cadence, here's the kicker. It took me $35,000 of investments from when I started my coaching journey to becoming a business owner, because that was the transition. And I invested in probably 3 or 4 of the wrong people. And this is, you have to invest in someone, but you have to be extremely careful on who you invest in, because consultants and coaches, the majority of the people in our space, in my opinion, are not qualified, or they don't have a guaranteed ROI. So you have to invest in someone, but you have to find the right person that's going to be able to help you succeed. So invest, but be careful.
Yeah, I agree 100%. What were some of the things that you learned, maybe some of the disappointments that you can help some of the people that are listening avoid when you had all the intention, you committed, you jumped in, and I'm not saying like telling us what people to avoid, but what were some of the things that disappointed you when other folks didn't produce?
ROI specifically, and that people were over-promising and under-delivering. The third one, they told me they had a system that worked, and when the system was set up, nothing was happening. So I once had a coach who told me he was going to help me get my business up and running, and he did. He helped me get my Square, LLC, and all that administrative crap. But there was one session where he sat down with me. He's like, hey, when you go to the bathroom on LinkedIn, I just want you to connect. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell is this guy saying? I can't grow a business like this. Right. So what I would say, if you're someone who's considering making the leap or is already looking for someone right now, you want to inspect their system. What is their proven process? Can you show me? Can you also prove that you have testimonials? And here's the thing that I do that I try to distinguish myself from the pack. I guarantee ROI until you get your ROI, or I'll give you your money back. If you're not satisfied, I'll give it to you all for free, because I know my shit works. And all those frauds, all those people who they were not frauds. They're just not good enough, right? They're just playing in the wrong. They're just playing in the wrong like stadium. I invested in them, and when I just like expressed my dissatisfaction, I didn't get my money back. They said, I gave you what you asked for. I'm like, well, you sold me a fairy tale and you gave me a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's definitely frauds out there. There's definitely people like you gracefully said that were just in the wrong arena or the wrong pond. But I think one of the things that stands out about you is a money back guarantee. And that only comes from somebody that knows they can deliver and has a proven track record that they can deliver. Because I would venture a guess that you don't give people many dollars back because they're very satisfied. They keep coming back for more.
No, and I do have a cadence on that. I say, if I'm going to give you your money back, you need to show me you've actually taken the action. Because how many people purchase a course, purchase a program, invest in a software, invest in a system, they don't actually ever use it. So I say, hey, if you implement for 90 days and you don't have the action, you want your money back, great, because I know it works. So definitely.
How does we got a couple more comments coming in, and I think moving forward we're going to test a different platform, because I don't think on your end you can see the comments, but we're looking into StreamYard or this is StreamYard. We're looking into one other one I can't remember off the top of my head, but in the meantime, Peter Lynch says rush into decision many times. Big truths, Jordan. Thank you for that, Peter. Robert Murray says that's where I'm at. I have to find the right person to align with. Absolutely, because it's a financial gamble. Robert Murray says, wow, guarantee that's what I need. So Robert, give Jordan a call, top drawer. I've connected with Jordan for a while now, and I can definitely say he is a top-notch human. So give him a call. Yeah, absolutely. And Robert, you can hit me up and I can introduce you on LinkedIn when appropriate. So tell me, you are I saw your wedding photos, but it's been a little bit. Are you newlywed or just a couple years now?
Yeah, so we hit our 1 year in October.
Congratulations.
And, yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I have it back there for a reason. One, it's the reminder, like, I'm in my working space, but majority of my day is in Zoom. So what do I always see my peripheral? The thing that matters most, right? You, or if you're a client or if you're someone in the Zoom, I'm still talking to you, but I always have the reminder. That's the thing that matters most. I will leave this session. If she gives me a call, she's on the side of the road, she needs to get picked up, I will end the call. And I think that's what people want to see too. Like, we're on LinkedIn, we're here to do business, but we're also here to connect with people that share values similar to ours. So yeah, I'm married. It is a hard thing to do. Business is easy. People are complicated. Marriages are even harder, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm glad you said that. I definitely identify with that. I've got 4 beautiful children, been with my wife for 16 years, and just incredible. And absolutely, family is the most important thing. It drives people that we align with. It drives everything, and I have tremendous respect for that. I'd like to transition into that with the conversation a little bit, because I've always had a chip on my shoulder when it comes to the statement, it's just business. Because to me, and I strongly disagree with some of the people I have a lot of respect for that say nothing personal in business or life. To me, and I'm going to use a little bit of candor. I don't swear very often, but fuck that. To me, it's everything personal.
That. Oh yeah.
And that I might get unfollowed or unfriended here for some of the things that I'm saying, but to me, it's all personal. And I think that is ever present in this new era, where I love the fact that you've got what's most important to you behind you. I think that the people that we resonate with are really going to, again, in the new era, we are so starved for personal connection. We are so very in need of those two areas blended together. And that's something that I absolutely have always tried to bring to the table. And it's not always easy. Like you pointed out, it's actually very, very difficult. But over time, the aggregate effect of making sure that the other person that you're serving or leading is as important to you as what's most important, and they're important to somebody else, I think there's no way you can lose. It
is. I was fortunate, and I remember hearing a story from Frank Kern, and I don't know if you or the guys listening to the chat right now know Frank Kern. He is one of the first people, I think he's one of the first people to ever do $1 million day in online sales. He actually might be the first person ever to do $1 million in 24 hours. or he's definitely one of the first. But one thing he talked about was he built a multi-seven-figure business, and he was absolutely miserable because the people he was serving, they weren't his friends. So one of my qualifications, and obviously people, I'm not telling you this if you're on a Zoom call and you're a prospect, I'm inspecting them too. If I don't like you, I'm not going to work with you because I have to put my energy towards you. If I don't think we share the same values, I'll refer you to someone that I think will or can give you value. And the thing that I love, I now have a tribe and a community of people who I freaking love. Business is very personal to me because the people who pay me are actually my friends. People pay me to be their guide and their friend. So I'll just tell you a quick story about why I think this is important. I have an entrepreneur, his name's Sam Lister. I don't know if you've seen him on the platform, on LinkedIn. He's pretty well known relatively to what is well known on LinkedIn. And Sam and I have been doing business for over a year now, and he's my boy. Like I love this dude. I connected with one of his mutual friends, and it wasn't a sales call, but I just started telling him about Sam and what we've been doing. I actually started tearing up on the call because Sam means so much as a human being to me. And two things happened. One, Sam got a hold of that, and the gratitude and appreciation of what we are doing together just deepened that much more. And two, I actually signed that guy as a client because he saw like it really means everything to me. Because when I could get on the Zoom and I'm actually happy to see you, I don't have to work a day in my life.
Well said.
I don't have to work because I'm happy to hang out with you for free, except we're doing it to grow your business. That's fun. That's not work. That is impact in life. That's a great life right there. And I think everyone should do that.
Man, there's nothing more to say on that. That is absolutely, we call that a mic drop moment. And the authenticity, well, yeah, absolutely. The authenticity that you have flows through. You're the type of people that the people in my team, my tribe, want to connect with because I know them very well. And the type of people that I'm aligned with as well. So much respect to you, Jordan. I know that we've got some more comments coming in. Robert Murray says, my life is mostly business. He works remote here in Alaska. Very, very cool story, and love to see more content from him. He said it's mostly business and it's brought people that are in need and left friends indeed. I think that's what he said. Very poetic. Thank you, Robert. Peter Lynch says, love Frank Kern. Cindy Saunders, who's coming out with a new leadership newsletter here the first of the year, says, it's definitely a challenge finding the right team / person, etc. I spent all of 2020 searching for resources and ultimately found that 2 stood out. Dodged a lot of bullets along the way, but did spend money I didn't need to. Absolutely. We all have, Cindy. The information like this is so important, and keep educating the community. Happy holidays to all. Thank you, Cindy. I really appreciate the detailed comments. And Robert Murray says one more. I've had several Zoom meetings and strategy calls. There's just something missing. I realize the lack of clarity simply because of time. Zoom is great, but it limits emotional connection. I would say that's a good point, Robert. And interested in your thoughts on that, Jordan. Guys like us are, I would venture to say, because I know I'm the same, I love face-to-face. I love the actual in-person connection. But I'd say Zoom, although limited, and it's been a new skill set for me, very uncomfortable in the beginning because I was so used to all the nonverbal cues and the interaction, the collaboration of being in person. But I would say that in this new era, this is pretty neat technology that we get to have these conversations or collaborate and are able to do it from remote locations. Your thoughts?
I don't have a single client that I've ever met in person. Okay, I have one client, Sam Lister, who I've met in person, and Tyler Reitzman. And I work with other 30 entrepreneurs. So I think, to Robert's point, lacking clarity, it's not, granted, it is his job and his business to have clarity. Robert, is your job. But if you're connecting with someone on a Zoom call to gain clarity or to get insight, it's what I said before. You're probably talking to the wrong person who's not asking you the right questions. Great coaches ask great questions. And what I like to say with Zoom, and what I actually teach in my program, you can get everything with Zoom. And I could actually learn so much about you because I see you. I could look at your eye patterns. I can know if you're a feeler or if you have an internal dialogue in your head. Your body language tells me so much. Your energy coming off your face. I could get 99% of that, but like truth be told, there is a missing physical touch. So like, if you're going to be an online business like me, or if you're going to be an online practitioner, just make sure you have a community physically that you could connect with, so you can get that. I believe it's oxytocin. Oxytocin is the chemical that releases in your brain when you have physical touch with another human and connection. So I don't think oxytocin is being released that much when I do Zoom calls, but I think given COVID in 2020, it is extremely serving. I have a global business. I have clients from 3 different continents, and I could do that because I do it all from the comfort of where I work.
Nice. Well said. And I think, Robert, if you have, especially being remote, he's just a couple hours away from me, but Alaska's a big state, and he's got a very, very unique business. And I think he's a guy that could definitely benefit learning how to use these tools, especially being given his location. So very cool. Really appreciate everybody's engagement today with the new platform that we're going to test out. Maybe even as early as the next call. Hopefully that will show the broadcast for all to see. But for now, I don't mind narrating. Jordan, I really appreciate your time. We blew through that half hour in our rapid fire session really, really quick. I could sit here and talk to you for hours.
Totally.
But to wrap up this session, what do you think? First of all, give us some final thoughts, and then tell us where we can connect with you, social and your website.
So final thoughts. So if someone spent their time listening to this and they were to leave with one thing, and something I even haven't said yet, it's strive for a life that inspires you. I haven't said that yet, but if there's one thing that I could leave with anyone, it's there is someone who built it, and all you need to do is find that system and plug it into your life. Strive for a life that inspires you, because you can definitely do it. If you want to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn. Obviously, it's Jordan Ross. That's the platform I'm predominantly at. And if you want to connect, because you heard this program, you're interested in my program, you can check out thefoundersfactory.com. That's the landing page on my website. I'll give you all the information about what we're doing over at the Founders Factory.
Awesome. Thanks for being our guest today, Jordan. Looking forward to connecting with you again real soon, and take care, my friend.
Yeah, Ryan. Thank you so much, brother. Anytime.
All right, we'll see you. Everybody else, thanks for coming. That wraps up episode 5 for the Beast TV. And if you enjoyed this episode, we are setting up another one unannounced, just on availability. So looking forward to connecting with you again soon. And Jordan, we'll see you again real soon. All right, my friend?
Peace, brother.
Take care. Bye-bye.